In today's video, we are going to learn about operators in Dart. To be honest, you have already seen at least one operator. In the last video, we used the equal sign many times. In Dart, this is known as the assignment operator, and it is used to assign values to variables. Now, let's explore other important operators in Dart. First of all, let's create new projects for operators. Open CMD and navigate to Projects directory with cd command. Then type Dart create operators. Wait for project creation to complete. cd into Operators folder and open Visual Studio Code by typing code, space, dot, and press enter. Now, expand the bin folder in your projects and open the operators.dart file. Delete any generated code there. Pause the video now and try to create the main function on your own. If you forget the syntax, don't worry. You can just copy it from the projects or refer to the screen for guidance. Before we dive into operators, I want to talk about comments in Dart. Comments are lines of text that Dart completely ignores when running the program. For example, this is a comment. Dart doesn't process comments at all. To prove this, we can add print statements before and after a comment. When we run the program, we won't see any errors, and the comment will be ignored. Comments are useful when you want to leave messages for other developers or even for your future self to explain what a piece of code does. Another useful way to use comments is to temporarily disable some code without deleting it. This allows you to save code that you wrote but don't want to run at the moment. You can comment out a line of code in two ways: manually by adding 2 forward slashes before the line or using a shortcut. In most code editors, you can press Ctrl and forward slash to quickly comment or uncomment a selected line of code. Now, let's learn about math operators in Dart. For the most part, they work just as you would expect. These operators help us perform common arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's take a closer look at each one. We will create two variables a and b with values 13 and 2. Now, let's see math operators in action using the print function. Addition, subtraction, and multiplication work just as you would expect. However, division is a bit different because Dart has two types of division operators. First is forward slash, always returns a double, even if the numbers divide evenly. And second, integer division returns only the whole number part of the division. Just add tilde character before forward slash if you don't care about decimal part. Another operator you probably didn't see in math class is the modulus operator. The modulus operator gives us the remainder when one number is divided by another. When 13 is divided by 2, the result is 6. But we have a remainder of 1. That means the result of the modulus operator will be 1. Running our program confirms that the results match our expectations from the comments. Changing the value of a to 10 and running the program again confirms that the division operator always returns a double, and the modulus operator gives a remainder of 0 because 10 is evenly divisible by 2. Before we learn the next group of operators, we need to understand a new data type, bool. A Boolean represents only two possible values, true or false. For example, let's create two variables. We are learning Dart with a value of true, and we are learning art with a value of false. Pay attention. True and false are not in quotes. They are Dart keywords, not strings. Printing the values of these variables simply displays true and false in the console. Booleans are very important in programming. They are one of the primitive data types in Dart, alongside int, double, and string. While Booleans might seem simple, They are crucial for controlling the flow of a program. They will make much more sense once we learn how to make decisions in code, such as checking conditions and branching logic based on true or false values. Now, let's talk about comparison operators. These operators are used to compare two values and return a Boolean result, true or false, based on the comparison. The equal to operator checks if two values are the same. It returns true if they are equal and false if they are not. The not equal to operator checks if two values are different. It returns true if they are not equal and false if they are the same. The greater than operator checks if the first value is larger than the second. It returns true if it is, or false if it's not. The less than operator checks if the first value is smaller than the second. It returns true if it is, or false if it's not. The greater than or equal to operator checks if the first value is larger than or equal to the second. It returns true if it is, or false if it's smaller. The less than or equal to operator checks if the first value is smaller than or equal to the second. It returns true if it is, or false if it's larger. Running our program confirms our comments. Notice the number 2 in the debug console before true on the second line. This just means that both the second and third print statements resulted in true. Another group of operators that work with the Boolean data type is logical operators. They allow us to combine different expressions to form more complex conditions. For example, what if you wanted to check if one condition is true and another condition is also true, and return true only if both conditions are true? You would use the AND operator, which in Dart is written as $ampersand. If we print result of this expression, we will get true because 3 is more than 2 and 5 is less than 10. The AND operator only returns true if both the left and right expressions are true. In all other cases, it returns false. Notice that Visual Studio grayed out the second part of the third print statement. That's because once the left side of the AND operator is false, the whole expression can never be true. So, Dart doesn't even check the right side. This is called short-circuiting. Another logical operator is the OR operator written as 2 vertical bars. It returns true if at least one of the expressions is true. The only time it returns false is when both expressions are false. Just like the AND operator, Dart also uses short-circuiting with OR. If the left side is true, Dart won't even check the right side because the whole expression is already true. There are many more operators in Dart, but these are the ones we use the most. Understanding these basic operators will help you write clean, efficient, and logical code. We will revisit logical operators in the next video when we learn how to make decisions based on conditions. I hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions.